If you want to strike your irons better, more solid, get that compressed feeling, then I'm going to show you how to do it in this video. I'm going to show you how you can use something as simple as this little device later in the video. Great drill that's going to really help you do that. Before we do that, we need to have a little discussion about the difference between weight and pressure and how that relates to the golf swing. In the golf swing, we really, in the backswing, need to change or shift your pressure. What we don't need to do is change where your weight is. Let me explain what I mean. When I take a setup, and let's say that I'm perfectly balanced, so my weight is evenly distributed between this leg and this leg. For me to move my weight onto my trail leg, I would physically need to move. So I would need to take my mass and I would need to shift it laterally over here. Now I've got more weight here than I have here. So weight shift is a physical movement of your body. We don't want that in the golf swing. You're not going to see great iron players physically moving off the golf ball. Sometimes we see a little drift, might be an inch or two. It's not dramatic. So many golfers have been told in the past that at the end of the backswing, you should have weight on your trail leg. And I see them searching for this. So I'll see them making these backswings, and then in the second half of that swing, they're kind of searching for that feeling of, there's the top of the backswing, there's the weight, that's what I'm after. That's going to get you into a whole world of trouble. That's not what great players do. They shift pressure. That's different. Here's how you can feel it. Take a setup. I love this drill. I'd love you to go ahead and do this. This is how you're going to feel the difference in pressure and weight. Pressure is what we do to the ground, what we push on the ground. So as I take a setup, weight is 50-50. I'm going to just use my chest to move the golf club, run about a foot in front of the ball. And I'm going to use my chest to move it a foot behind the ball. And I'm just going to do that back and forth, no stopping. And I'm using my chest to do that, not my hands, not my arms. I'm using my chest. And as I do that, I don't feel anything in my feet. There's probably no pressure moving at all in my feet. But if I try and keep the movement the same, but start to increase the speed of that, what's going to happen is the change in direction of my golf club and my chest is going to start to be more aggressive. And as I start to do that, guess what? I feel things happening in my feet. It feels as if I'm having to push down more on the ground to control that movement. That's pressure. If we could measure the pressure there, you'd see it going right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. But I'm not physically moving. That's what great players do. In the backswing, they stay very centered. So their weight is always pretty much in the middle of their heels. But they are shifting pressure into that trail leg. That is so key. So you're not going to hit your iron solidly if you're searching for a weight shift, or if you're staying centered but not actually shifting pressure. Now this is just a little device that I picked up. It's a non-golf specific sort of aid, but it just enables me to kind of move and bend it into certain shapes. I'll also show you on the side of the screen how you can do this with an alignment stick a little bit later. But what I've done is I've created a little circle that sits above the golf ball, as you can see there. So when I take my setup, I can see the golf ball right through that circle that I've created. What this is going to do is it's going to straight away allow me to see whether I've got any lateral movement this way. I can see that straight away, or maybe it's towards the target, but that's less common. So what I'm really looking to do is say, okay, can I take my setup where the ball is in that circle? Can I move myself to the top of my golf swing, keeping the ball in that circle? What that tells me is that I have stayed centered. That's what great players do. But what we've also said is they shift pressure. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually take a setup. I'm going to have to move the club a little bit inside, but I'm going to make my movement back and forth where I feel like there's no pressure at all. And as I build that speed up, I suddenly feel that pressure right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And once I can really feel that pressure building, I'm going to take that movement into a backswing. And I can tell you that I felt pressure changing on my feet. That's so key. But because the golf ball stayed in my circle, I stayed centered. That's so key for you to strike your irons pure, because that enables you to get into your lead side earlier and better. And that is a key component of ball striking. If you're struggling with your irons, I would hazard a guess there's a very good chance that you're shifting pressure or weight late into your backswing, which affects the whole sequence of events, makes it really difficult to strike the ball well. So let me show you how I could actually hit golf balls this way. This isn't going to be the best shot I've ever hit because I'm focused more on sort of technique and the little exercise I'm setting up, but there's my setup. Move the club inside, back and forth, no pressure. Build the pressure. Build the pressure. I can feel it going right, left, right, left, right, left, and then take that into a backswing, and then through into a follow through. So that was nowhere near full speed. Okay, that ball's gone maybe 100 yards max. But what it did is it got me to unlock all those feelings that I want. Kind of see maybe for the first time what it's like to shift pressure effectively and stay centered. That pressure should be shifting early. That little exercise encourages us to do that because even when the club's only going a foot, we're shifting pressure. That's what great players do. If you can move your pressure earlier and stay centered, you'll start to absolutely flush those irons.